Myself, Anushika and I'm from the ECE department. Today I want to give a PowerPoint presentation on Indian culture. And my PowerPoint presentation is about Indian culture. First, I would like to start with my Indian culture most prominent said word, Namaskar. Maybe you can call it Sastriyakal or it's Vanakkam. And my second slide, which I would like to show is religions and spirituality. India itself is having its more cultures and even its more religions, which we can diversify. First is Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, Christianity, Islam, and many of its cultures more, which we don't know even on these days also. And the one more, my next slide is on language and literature. India is having 21 official languages, which are having written also with own their sculptures and writing. But there are still many more languages which we don't have written languages. Hindi and English are the official languages of Indian according to the Indian Constitution. My next slide is about food and spices. Do you know, as we know, India is one of the most largest producer of spices, and even from our ancient cultures, we have seen India has been the biggest exporter about spices, and most prominently, South India has been the most biggest transport in exporter of spices, and some of the varieties, caution categories of our food system are Northern, Southern, Western, and even Eastern. I would tell about food. Some of the North Indian foods are just roti or chapati, some type of these type of things, and South India is famous for its rice and food, and some others. My next slide is festivals. What do you think a festival is about? I think a festival is the only reason which we can celebrate. It brings people to celebrate their joys, and India is most about it. What I have been seeing about so many years, each Indian with the Indian calendar, each and every week has its own speciality about festivals. Each and every week has its own small or little festival celebrated at the house, which brings every member of a family together for celebration. And India is as much as having so many religions, it has more and more of festivals like Holi, Diwali, Christmas, Bakri, and so many. With each religion, it has more festivals which are celebrated all over the India. And my next slide is about. These are some of the most famous festivals which we celebrate in our country. That is Ganesh Chaturthi, Navratri, and Holi, Diwali, and Onam, and Christmas too. And now I would like to discuss about some sculptures and architecture which are from our ancient times. In our Indian culture, we have our architectures from the olden times like Stone Age. Even the sculptures of many of the temples, and even to it is too famous about our Indian speciality. Even we can take, for example, the Taj Mahal. It is from so many centuries in our country, and it is famous too for its architecture. My next slide is about agriculture. India has been one of the leading countries among the whole the world for production of agriculture, and agriculture is the foremost income part also of our Indian, and it adds up to our culture like producing wheat, rice, and even farmers are said to be the basic roots of our country. And even they are given that much importance also. My next slide is about clothing, Indian clothing, which adds one of the most spice of our Indian culture. Each place has its own feeling dressing styles. Like in North, we used to see pants or dhotis sometimes, and in Southern India, as we see lungis and all. Each area of it has its own different style of even wearing sari, or it is about men wearing or a woman wearing. As here you can see, the first one is representing the Bengali one, and the second one is Tamilian, and the third is the Punjabi. Many more are there. With each culture, there is a variety of wearing in dressing styles also, and which adds up to our culture. One more, my next slide is about music and dance. It has been the most very beautiful, you could say, as a food has its own essence, like that music and dance is our culture's essence, which from our Puranas only we had been listening about some of the musics, not about from the modern, but even from our ancient, we have some sayings of padyas, and these were being sung. And now also it is having its own essence. We have till now also we use our own style of using. We as we know from now we sing rap songs or such like. These are from our old ethics only, which were said as padyas and so, and now they are being converted into English and told as rap songs and all. The next slide is about. My last conclusion is India is a diverse country. And it has all its spices. As a food can be prepared with all salt and pepper or food or rice, everything. That like Indian culture is also having mixture of religion, culture, oil, music, dance, clothing, everything. And at last, I would like to say incredible India, and I'm proud to be Indian. Thank you.
Any queries?
Any queries?
As you earlier told that religions and spirituality. What is the meaning of spirituality?
Spirituality is about, it's a feeling of some Indian feeling from our hearts. Spiritual feeling makes us unity. It comes from the inside for the country. Not about it's not about telling like spirituality. It's a spirit which comes from our minds of being unity and nationalism.